So, episode 4, 5, episode 5, episode something. Tonight we're going to be making coq au vin, New Year's Eve, going into the new year with something incredible to eat for your new year. On set today we have Tim, very old friend, very good friend, very incredible cook. Once again, much like Garrett, never made anything bad. Wouldn't have him on the show if he ever made anything bad. Much like the last show, I had too much to drink. So, I'm not going to be doing any cooking. Today we're going to be describing to Tim how to cook coq au vin, which is a French soup, French dish, I don't know. I describe it like a French gumbo. So the base of it is wine, you got chicken, mushroom, shallots, a bunch of good things that are going in here. Tim's never made it?
No, never.
Tim's never had it, have you?
No, never had it.
Today we're going to teach Tim how to make it.
I'm excited.
So, let's jump right into this. Get our good camera angle. Boom, right there. Here's what you're going to need. Mushrooms, a shitload of mushrooms. 2 packs, I think the recipe calls for. So I just got 1 pack of big mushrooms. Shallots, this is 5, where's my camera? 5 shallots right there. Chop these up. We threw them in a food processor because screw all that chopping. Oopsie daisy. 4 sprigs of thyme. This thyme was in a jar already, so we didn't have to do anything with that. You're gonna need 2 cups of white wine. I always forget the wine. I think it's Pinot Grigio. As long as the white wine is cheap and not sweet, so something dry. 4 garlic cloves. This was already pre-cut, so we didn't have to chop any of these, but you need 4 cloves of garlic. 2 cups of vegetable stock. That's a little sketchy to pick up. It's filled to the brim. What is this? 1/4 cup of capers. Some parsley, about 1/2 cup, and then a whole pack of prosciutto. I didn't know that it came chopped up like this, but it comes chopped up. If you don't find it chopped up, you can just buy a pack of prosciutto and slice it up yourself. And then 2 tablespoons of flour, 4 tablespoons of butter. That's all you need. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna tell Tim what to do with all these ingredients. So first things first, we actually probably should have did this before we got started. We need
light the stove?
Yeah, we need to light the stove.
Right.
Light the stove up.
You blew it. Capiche?
I'm gonna be in and out of the
Right,
shot.
so-
I'm teaching and instructing because I've been drinking. So never
let's
drink
see.
and cook. So we're gonna heat the stove up. Tim's gonna heat the stove up.
Yep, heat the stove up.
Heat the stove up. Step 1, do this before. Obviously, get your stove hot. Throw in some oil, and then you're gonna cook your prosciutto for about 3 minutes with the garlic. So Tim, right now.
How much all I need?
Hold on, sorry.
Oh,
There you go. Good.
just
That's a good amount, fair amount. However you
amount.
think.
Okay.
Then you're gonna throw in your prosciutto and your garlic, and you're gonna cook that
So
for
let
about
it-
3 minutes.
Gonna let it heat first.
Yeah, get a little hot first. Pan's nice and hot.
Yep, ready to go in with the prosciutto. So you just
All the way
throw it in there.
And then hit that garlic.
Oh yeah, the garlic too.
Prosciutto, garlic. Ooh, that's a little high.
Yeah, I'll turn it down
How
just
do
a
we
little
lower
bit.
it? Lower?
Yeah, it's a little bit lower. This stove gets pretty hot.
Yeah, this is a gas stove, which is supremely superior to an electric stove. So if you have a gas stove, or you just want to keep, you're not trying to burn anything here when you're cooking the prosciutto and the garlic. You just want to give it a nice brown. So before we started shooting, everybody was kind of tasting the prosciutto because it looks good. It just looks like chopped up ham or chopped up bacon. But prosciutto's, it's damn near like a almost sour bacon. And I'm sure there's going to be somebody watching this who's going to be yelling at the screen, telling me that it's not at all like that. It's just thinly sliced ham, and I don't want to be wrong about where it comes from on the pig, but that's basically what it is. So it's just a tad bit more intense.
Yeah, so I don't like it unbrowned.
Right.
It's got a different taste to it. It doesn't taste like I think it would taste, right? Just by looking at it.
Right.
Once it's cooked, it's good.
So that's getting damn near close. And right now, I know everybody's could care less what we're cooking because you just heard Tim's voice and you're thinking, you know, is this the radio in 1964? No, that's that guy's voice. Is there a voice filter on? Absolutely not. Are you thinking, oh, cool, Bobby's got a cooking show with James Earl Jones as a guest?
Baseball was life.
Yes. No, that's just Tim. That's his voice. All right, so that's about good. So we're going to take that and we're going to move that to a separate bowl. What do I have ready here? Here,
Slotted spoon.
let me get your, oops, good catch. I'm just you're gonna remove that into a separate bowl. So you're gonna use one pan or pot actually for this entire recipe. You're kind of actually counting on the things that you see stuck to the bottom, those good morsels. You're using that as your flavor, so you don't necessarily need to season. A lot of times in like European dishes or like really authentic dishes, they don't use a lot of seasoning. It kind of comes from the natural ingredient, and you're getting a lot of that in this. Am I sounding really uptight?
There's not a lot of seasoning going into this.
Yeah.
Like salt, pepper.
It's not much. It's a
Yeah.
lot of the ingredient.
Okay, so it's a natural flavor, right?
Exactly, yeah, natural flavor. Okay, so we got it all out. Now,
So now,
we're gonna put that to the side, off camera, and we're gonna take our chicken and Tim.
you want the butter in it, or
No, just the chicken.
no oil, no
Just
more oil?
just a tad bit of oil, just a tad bit.
Okay.
Tim's gonna add a tad bit of oil. And he's gonna give our chicken. We're using chicken thighs, which is a dark meat, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Chicken thighs, dark meat.
I suck at cooking chicken. I've always sucked at cooking chicken. I make chicken all the time, and Molly loves it. Every time I make it, I'm my own worst critic when it comes to chicken. So I've never been good at cooking chicken.
Chicken's easy to dry out. You want to cook it long enough to where it's not raw, so you don't get salmonella.
Right.
But you cook it too long and it dries out.
So how long would you say for a chicken thigh?
For a chicken thigh,
Let's say like this. If you were cooking it normally, if you were cooking it for any other dish.
I really don't know.
Oh, okay. I guess it
Honestly.
depends. Okay, well, that brings up a good point. With this dish, because when it's all said and done, we're going to cook this for an hour in white wine. So you're going to want to undercook it just a tad. Not so much that it's straight up pink in the middle, but if when you're cooking it and you think like, oh, it's probably done, you don't want to get to that point. You want to undercook it a tad bit, because if you cook it too much and then you throw it in the white wine and cook it for an hour, by the time it's done, it's going to be rubbery. So you're going to undercook it a little bit, and Tim's going to do that right now.
So I can do that. I can definitely undercook it.
Oh yeah, I'd say the easiest thing to ever undercook.
So I've always cooked chicken too much where it's dry, right? It's just I'm scared of it. You know, Garrett actually cooked chicken for one time, and it was juicy, and I thought it was raw. But he cooked it perfect.
Oh, because it was just
Yeah, it was
spot
spot on, right?
Yeah. What was the first thing what was like your first dish that you made that you were proud of?
I was proud of? Probably spaghetti. I think it was in high school. Just out of a jar, right? It wasn't anything special, but it was the first meal I cooked. It was easy, right? Ground meat, spaghetti sauce, noodles,
Right.
you know, vegetables, onions, peppers. And
Yeah.
it was the first thing I cooked, and it was good, so I was proud of it.
Spaghetti's always a good cook too.
But I put too many jalapenos in it, right? Because I like spicy food.
This guy loves jalapenos.
It's hard to eat because it's so spicy.
I
hate it.
would never think
Nobody
to
else
put
could.
jalapenos in spaghetti. Who does that?
I did, and it was too hot for everybody else. But I liked it, so that's all that mattered.
All right, we're browning. We're getting good. We're getting golden. That looks incredible. Incredible. Shout out to the production crew here, if I may, who set everything up. These are some good camera angles we got going here. This is some good personality we got going here. This is some good smells we got going
Oh yeah,
here.
that smells great.
We're shitting on your favorite cooking show right now. That looks amazing. Going into the new year, just sauced.
Yeah, getting that way. Heading that way.
Here, let's get closer. Let's see.
Okay.
How do we look?
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Hey everyone! Come and see how good I look!
Like I said, we're going to be using a bitter white wine, but a lot of French people use champagne, you know, anything that's got like that bitter balance to it. I guess you do.
And it doesn't matter what kind of white wine, right?
Not really, as long as
Pinot
it's not.
Grigio, Sauvignon
Yeah,
Blanc,
as long as it's not sweet. And you see a lot of things up here, but oh boy, we did that for
$40.
was it
Yeah. It was $40 for all that.
$40? Well, we want beer.
No, it was $40 for all of this.
Okay, $40. $40 for a soup that you can make relatively quickly, relatively easily, and that it is going to impress some people. I'm telling you, like, all these ingredients, if you're looking at it, it seems fairly simple, but it's one of those things that once they're combined, it really takes everything to another level. It's incredible. So, you know, we're there. We're going to let this chicken brown, and then we're going to take that off just before it gets really done. So we've been cooking for maybe 6 minutes, 8 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
So
5-10 minutes,
again,
like that.
you don't want to cook your chicken fully because it's going to cook in that wine for an hour. So we're going to go ahead and take that chicken out, and we're going to place it in another bowl. And then in that bowl, we're going to place it in the same bowl that our prosciutto and our garlic went. Am I in the shot? There we go.
Oh yeah, you're
There we go.
perfect. So, all right. So after the chicken comes out, what's next? What goes in next?
So after that, we're gonna cook our mushrooms. We're gonna add our mushrooms, our shallots, our flour, the thyme, and the parsley all in the same delicious oil and all this brown. Everything that's stuck to the bottom of the pan, that's flavor. That's your natural flavor. So we're gonna add all that in. Meanwhile, while Tim's doing all that, while he's adding all those things, I'm gonna come to the side and I'm gonna shred this chicken. It doesn't have to be like shredded, like you put it in a damn blender. Just take a fork and a knife and just kind of chop it up. So I'm gonna do that while Tim is adding.
The mushrooms and shallots. All right. Mushrooms, shallots. The shallots is essentially just an onion. It's a different type of onion. Right?
Oh,
It's
I
got
forgot.
a little
We
different flavor than a red onion or a yellow or white, which you're used to.
yeah, we
But
forgot to look that up.
It's not quite as strong. It's a more subtle onion flavor, I think. To
Well,
me.
your description was great. Tim described it as when you taste it, the flavor lasts longer
Right.
than your normal kind of onion.
It stuck with me for a while, but it wasn't super strong. Go there. All right, let's put that thyme in there. All right.
So once you
Mix
remove
all
the
that up.
chicken, we added the mushrooms, the shallots, the flour, the thyme, and the parsley. We're gonna
So
add all of that.
You brown the parsley, or just
Yeah, you give it a good stir
okay?
for maybe a minute. Just kind of like,
Let it get
basically,
mixed in?
you're gonna cook all that until you feel like your onions are just a little done.
Okay.
Once your onions are about cooked, then you're gonna take your wine and you're gonna cook that for about 5 minutes.
Okay. So the wine in there with it.
Yeah.
And let it all.
So that's 2 cups of wine.
Pinot Grigio is what we have here.
Pinot Grigio, just
Gorlami.
Ancora una volta.
Gorlami.
a good bitter wine, and you're gonna simmer that for about 5 minutes. You can see how that looks. Tim wants to comment on how many mushrooms that is.
Yeah, that's a shitload of mushrooms.
It does.
Like it was a lot. Like
It does seem like a lot of mushrooms, but I personally love mushrooms, and this is what and once everything's said and done, you're gonna see that the mushrooms really give it that hearty substance that you're looking for.
The recipe calls for that many mushrooms.
The recipe calls for that many mushrooms.
I feel like I wouldn't put that much mushrooms
I call for that
in a mushroom soup.
I call for that many mushrooms.
No, I get it. I mean, I love mushrooms, but that was...
Yeah, it's a lot of mushrooms. It's
Yeah.
2 packs or 1 large pack. It is a lot of mushrooms. If you don't like mushrooms, I don't know what the hell to tell you. Actually, last time I made it, I ran out of mushrooms. I made it without them. It was still good, but I didn't care for it. You could use carrots, any type of vegetable that's going to give it that hearty, good,
Right, so-
good thing that that good mouthfeel. But
I think if you don't like mushrooms, you don't make this soup. 'Cause that's obviously
yeah,
one of the main ingredients.
this is
right?
a mushroom-based soup. It does seem like a lot of mushrooms, but you're cooking it in that wine, and my God, is it good?
I love mushrooms, but
You just got to try it. So
hopefully I get a mushroom every bite. If not, something's wrong, right?
exactly. So it's been about 5 minutes. We're gonna add our stock. 2 cups of vegetable stock. We're gonna cook that for about a minute, 60 seconds, or 30 seconds twice. We've been cooking this for about a minute now. So now we're gonna add our capers. That's 1/4 a cup of capers. And capers, I don't know if you've never had capers, you're missing out. That's delicious. They're naturally very salty. So we're gonna add 1/4 cup of capers.
Like little baby olives, huh?
Yeah, that's a good way to describe them. 1/4 cup capers. And then we're gonna add our butter, which I think this was, how much butter? 4 tablespoons of butter. Boom. The more you cook, and the more you cook really bougie things, you'll realize that there's a shitload of butter
Yeah.
that goes into really good things. Oh yeah, it's a super. If you're ever eating something and you're like, oh, this is just chicken soup, this is probably good for me.
There's a lot of butter in chicken soup.
There's a lot of
A
butter.
shitload.
Yeah,
You make it when you have a cold, right? To get you healthy.
yeah.
Eat 2 sticks of butter.
Jokes on you.
Yeah. I was surprised how much butter went in the first time I made chicken soup.
So we're gonna bring this to a boil. As soon as it's at a boil, we're gonna increase our heat a little bit.
Be careful. It'll
Yeah.
melt this pot.
As soon as it's at a boil, we're gonna bring our temperature down, and then we're gonna add our chicken and our prosciutto and our garlic. And boy, let me tell you, that's gonna be good.
It smells good already.
And that's any time.
It looks like almost like a gumbo.
It does.
Like,
it really does.
Just looking at it.
You know,
Like
and like
a mushroom gumbo, perhaps?
yeah, and like we said, Tim never made this. He never made it. He never had it.
Never heard of it. until
So
today.
he's making it this easy. We're here. We're giving you guys the same direction, the ingredients. He's never made it. You can make it. It's that easy. It's really that easy.
Not been hard yet.
Nothing crazy has happened for relatively cheap. So that's boiling, and now we're gonna add our chicken and our prosciutto to that mix. Like so, bro. And give that a good stir, Tim. Give it a good whip.
Oh, so that's it now, right? We just let it simmer? Or just still boil some more? Or
Yeah. Give it a good simmer.
so it simmers for 1 hour?
1 hour. So we're going to lower that temperature. We're going to bring that way down to a simmer. We're going to cover that. Once we get it down to a simmer, we're going to put a lid on top of that. Grab that Martha Stewart lid.
Oh, it is Martha Stewart, huh?
We're going to cover that. And we're going to simmer that for 1 hour.
1 hour.
That's been boiling for about an hour. And if you want to see what that looks like, that looks incredible. But it's about to look even better. So, once you've boiled for an hour, you're going to turn the heat off. 1 cup heavy whipping cream. You're going to pour that straight in
We
there.
gotta stir it though, right?
Give it a stir, yeah.
Yeah.
Stir it in there, and we're going to watch that.
Ooh.
change. Like Ray Fiennes and Red Dragon. Do you see it changing? Look, change. Remember that part of the
Yeah.
movie that was awful? You remember that?
This is Jacoby changing.
Oh
Do you
my
see?
God.
Well, it's horrible, but that
But
change was good.
That's a change.
So is that the butter floating on top? I guess we see it.
That's your butter.
Yellow?
Yeah.
Oil, perhaps.
You're gonna keep and you're gonna stir that. That's it.
That's it.
Dish done.
We're done.
Dish is done. So now we're gonna plate or bowl, if you will.
So we bolt this.
So bowl, good spoonful on there.
All right.
Now,
Maybe some more.
when you're going to serve this, this is where the benefit of when we use the thyme, we use dried thyme. It looks a lot prettier if you have like fresh thyme, because you could take a whole thyme sprig and just put it right on the top of there, and it looks really good. So we're not going to get that aesthetic with this. There's no reason for me to sprinkle, but if you want a good aesthetic, you would take you a thyme sprig, put it right on the top.
Damn, that smells good. Shit.
Yeah. Take you some bread. For this, we're using a 4 cheese. I don't know the type of bread. It's a 4 cheese bread. We got this from Kroger. You're gonna take that bread, put it right on the side, and when you eat this, you're just gonna want to dip your bread. I like to take a spoonful of it and throw it right on top of the bread, and that's it. That's coq au vin.
That looks too good. It was too simple.
Too simple.
So that's coq au vin. It sounds fancy as hell, right?
Yeah, can you see that?
Sounds super fancy. But
Simple.
That was just,
But when you taste it, it's gonna taste fancy.
right here. Damn, I cook good.
Yeah.
Shit.